Hey, this is Keith Kelch with How to Build Your Own Home, and I'm in a pit, a deep pit, and we're dealing with an 8-foot over X, which means that I've got really bad soil. Not so bad that it can't be dealt with, but it takes a lot of work to deal with it. I'm in a pit with collapsible soil. And what does collapsible soil mean? It means that the soil over time hasn't really compacted very well. We're near an alluvial plain, or actually by a river, and this here is just, like sand, just deposited over time. The largest aggregate we get might be something like that big, but for the most part, it's just collapsible, which means that if I were to build a home without doing some excavation, proper excavation, that home could settle and crack and do all kinds of nasty stuff over time. So what we've got to do, the geotech report called for digging all this out, then compacting. You can see that the compactor roller, and it actually compacted that. And it takes a lot of water. We had to get the fire hose in here and just really water it down. And you can see the green marks here. They're indicative of the lifts that we've got to go. Every 1 foot that we go on these lifts, we have to have a geotech come in, test the compaction of the soil, make sure that we're good before we can go with the next lift. And you can see over here, we've already got 1 foot lift over in this section over here. I'm standing 1 foot lower than that. And so we'll go with 1 foot lifts. Hopefully we'll get them done in a day, maybe 5 days, a whole lift in a day, maybe 2 lifts in a day if we're lucky. But you can see we have no room on this property. I mean, literally no room. The over X has taken up all the dirt everywhere else, so you couldn't bring lumber and other materials and try to get some good prices and get stuff here. We can't do that. We have no room. So luckily it's a 1 acre lot. We do have the space for it, but even then we're really shy of some space. I'm using the lot next door just to hold some dirt just temporarily. This is where I spend a lot of time talking to owner builders. Research the land that you are buying. You don't know what you're getting. Now luckily I've got a great bid from an excavator to do the recompaction and the over X on this, but I know I could have gotten bids that are north of $100,000. And so if you don't know that in advance, you're barking up the wrong tree. That's why of all my reports, of all my posts, I am constantly talking about dirt work. I'm constantly talking about excavation. It's the big blind spot. And I see owner builders and even a lot of general contractors buy land that's for cheap, not knowing how to deal with that land and what's going to be required to build something on that land. Again, collapsible soils, I'd rather have collapsible soils though than expandable soils. Expandable soils means that if they get wet way down here, that soil is going to lift, and it's going to lift the home. You don't want to do that. I can deal with compaction, I can deal with making it real solid, but still, as I'm building this home, and we'll give you some posts later on down the road, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to keep water away from the footings. I'm going to put a 2-foot skirt around this entire house of concrete. I'm going to make sure that my rain gutters drain away from the house. Even though we're solving a lot of the problems, I don't want to have any problem at all throughout the life of this home. So geology. It's really the issue that you've got to know and got to understand. Now I'm building a home up north here. I just got off the tractor, and it's just solid rock. It's not like this. It's just solid rock. And I don't have near the issue that I have down here. So know where your area is. This part of the valley might be this part of the valley might be that. Know and ask, and if you can sit with a geologist or a geotechnical engineer, they can really tell you the area in which you hope to build, what it's like, what to watch out for. In fact, I would go talk with a person like that before I talk with a realtor, before I talk with a lot of people, because they're going to really tell you, hey, if you can get some land in this section of the valley, or this section of the mountain, or this section of that subdivision, it's going to be great. And research that, and you won't have to deal with an issue like this. Anyway, we're going to give you some posts on this. This here is going to be an omniblock home with an aluminum shingle roof with a lot of these features. And the affordability factor on this home is still really good, even with this excavation, because we're going to save some money down the road by not doing a couple of things, because we don't need to do those things. And I'll share those with you on future posts. This is Keith Kelch in the pit with How to Build Your Own Home.